Hi guys, Jengar here, and welcome to episode 3 of this Ars Nouveau Getting Started Survival Guide. In this episode, we're going to go through a bunch of things, upgrading our armor, setting up a ritual with a brazier, then we're going to set up automation of all the essence. So we've got a bunch to cover. Stick around. All right, so here we are in our world. I have been mostly the same here, though I have, if you're following along, I've added these things just to look at what these source stone variants look like. We're going to build Mage tower, I think, down there. That's going to house a lot of our stuff that we have outside right now. You can see if you're looking at my armor, I've got some of my armor upgraded. We're going to talk about that first. For that, we need an alteration table. That's pretty easy to make. That's a scribe's table, which we've already made, surrounded by some mage bloom fiber, and we get an alteration table. Let's stick it over here for now. There we go. The way this works is we take our robes and we put it on the table here, and you can see there's one level 1 slot here because these are level 1 robes. I've upgraded these to level 3, and I've even added some threads. I've got an undying thread on here. We're playing a lot on this SMP. This is the supporters SMP, so if you'd like to join us on our server, join up on the Discord and become a supporter through Patreon, and you are welcome on the server. But what we do here is we put a couple of blaze rods in the enchanting apparatus, put our robe in there. It's going to upgrade this to tier 2. Now if we look at it, it's now tier 2. Our thread slots are empty. That's what those empty indicators are. We can do it again. If we look at the book, upgrading, there it is, armor upgrading. Those 2 tier blaze rods, which is how I got to tier 2, and now I need 2 ender pearls and chorus fruit. We've been to the end in our server, so we've got a few of these things. I don't have very many ender pearls though. Is that what I needed? Let me grab some of those. I'll be right back. So this was 2 ender pearls and a chorus fruit. And now it is tier 3. And we'll do the same thing with the boots, shoe fly. And now if we put these in table, there's 3 slots here, and we can put thread in them. If I take this out, and if I put this in here, we can see that I've got this magic capacity thread in here. And so we can make more threads. Take a look in the book. There's all these different kinds of threads. This magic capacity one is enchanting apparatus, source berry, and some mage bloom. We get thread of magic capacity, and then we can put that in our in one of our different robes or boots, and it increases our magic capacity. I have a thread of undying in my hat, which is made with a totem of undying. So once a day, I get totem of undying. That's pretty cool. Very cool for hardcore. But we're not going to do too much with threads in this episode. The next thing I want to do, which is going to help us build, is create a ritual of flight. And to do that, we need a brazier. And I think I've got all the things for a brazier. I do. It's very easy. The pedestal, which we've made before, and source and some gold. And we'll put this down right over here next to this source jar. It needs source to run every time we use it. It has a range on it, I think, of like 32 blocks. So it's kind of right in the center of our base. The next we need is a ritual of flight, or tablet of flight. Just missing that vexing archwood log. All right, I just went and got a vexing archwood log, and now we can make this tablet of flight. And from here, it's really easy. We just right-click on this brazier with this. Now it's awaiting activation. I right-click again with an empty hand. And now this ritual brazier is running with the tablet of flight indefinitely until I break it. As long as there's source next to it, and anywhere around here, I can just jump, and it gives me creative flight for 1.5 minutes. So this is going to be useful for our just running around the base here for the rest of the episode. You can check the book. There's a whole bunch of different rituals. You can make it day, you can make it night, you can breed animals, all kinds of stuff. So definitely check the book out for that. We'll be making some more of these, I'm sure, as we go along in the series. The next thing and big part of this episode is I want to create essence. There's 7 different types of essences: water, manipulation, fire, earth, air, conjuration, and abjuration. And each of these requires 3 things around an imbuement chamber on pedestals with a source gem in the middle. I've gone ahead and pulled together all the different things for all the different 7. Here's the one for water bucket, kelp, and snow. And we're going to put those down right down there. I'm going to make a building that we can house this thing in. And then we're going to employ our Starbuncles to automate the whole thing. So I'll get a building started and we'll get going on that. So over here, I've kind of mapped out the floor plan for the first floor of our tower. And let's make the floor out of, let's see, maybe this mosaic. All kinds of different patterns here. It's mosaic. Mosaic makes a good floor. Let's give that a try. All right, now for the walls, I'm just kind of thinking maybe some of these large bricks. We're not going to go too high yet. We just need a wall to work with here. All right, that looks pretty good. Quickly put a door right here. There's going to be windows in the middles of these. Actually, let's have 2 windows in each wall. I'm using here is a mining spell that has pickup on it. So ranged mining with pickup, very convenient for building. Okay, so here's our bottom floor of our mage tower, and we're going to put the essence production down here. Okay, before we automate this, let's take a look at how we use the imbuement chamber and pedestals. We're going to need some source gems as well. How we use these to make these essences. So we have all our different essences here. Let's just pick one. Do this one for now. So we'll put a pedestal down, not a pedestal, an imbuement chamber. It needs to be able to get source from a jar, and we need 3 pedestals around it, like this. If we look at the recipe for the essence, you can see that an imbuement chamber with 3 pedestals and a source gem will make this water essence, and it needs 2,000 source to do so. Okay, so if we just right click and put these 3 items on these pedestals, and then a source gem in the middle, takes a few moments. It's using up the source from this jar. Now we have water essence. Now it's nice that these things don't get used up by this. Now there's other ways we can set this up. For example, we can turn these pedestals into platforms. Let's grab 3 platforms here. And we can put them on, I think we can put them right on the chamber, but we can also just, put them nearby like this. These things on here. All right, so as long as it's like on a pedestal near the chamber, it'll work. So this is nice for making a nice compact setup, which we're going to do down there in that building we just made. Let's pick this stuff up and let's head on down here. And so here we're going to do a similar thing, and we can put these things in a nice, compact, good-looking setup. These things on here like this. I should have brought a source jar with me. We'll go grab one of those. You don't actually need a jar. I forgot. With imbuement chambers, it gets it from the world, and it just takes a long time. You can see the progress is ticking up. So let's set up all of our different essence production down here like this. We need to turn all these things into platforms, and we'll set these all up separately. And then what we'll do is we'll set up jars in each corner. And then what we'll do is we'll set up jars in each corner. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for the essences. And I have extra platforms. Let's grab this thing. This mod pack has the carry-on mod in it. So I'll pick this thing up. We'll carry it over there. Okay. So this is one. We didn't have 3 extra pedestals. They go right here. Thought I had just the right amount. Okay, let's put a source gem in here. We'll see what we get. I'll do the rest of these. These are all the different essence recipes that we have here. So for example, the abjuration is the one we put over here. Fire. And now we'll just fill all these up with their... All right, I figured it out. And ironically, the archwood button, which is kind of a modded wood button, doesn't work with its own mod for button. And here, the archwood button must be made by another kind of compatibility mod. So stone button worked. Stick with vanilla button there. Okay, so now we've got a fire essence here. And over here, we've got another water essence. Here is an abjuration essence, air essence, earth essence, conjuration essence. And since this is taking a long time, let's go get some source jars. And I've got a whole bunch of them over here. Tuck these in the corners. Now that's going to go faster. All right, and finally we have the manipulation essence. These jars down in the corners. They can each feed a couple of those things. We'll get some routers in place, and then we'll set up the automation. Before we do that, let's move our source gem creation down here as well. So we'll just put our source gem production right here. We can't place it right here because it's adjacent to this platform and it will mess up the pattern here. So if we put amethyst shards in here, they'll turn into source gems. And we'll just tuck a hopper right here and a barrel right here. And we can just fill this thing up with lapis, amethyst shards. And if you put amethyst blocks in here, they'll make source gem blocks as well. That's just a little bit faster. Now we can't use a hopper to just pull things out of here because it'll pull the lapis or amethyst out before it gets processed. So that's where Starbuncle will come in handy. Let's put a barrel over here and put all our essences in here for now. And let's get a Starbuncle, get them to work. Okay, we have a couple of Starbuncle shards here, which we can make Starbuncle charms like this. One, and let's get 2 Starbuncles to help us automate this. We're going to start pretty simple here. We'll probably get pretty complicated with this process. All right, so there's 2 things we need to do. One, we need to take these source gems out automatically so that it can keep processing. And we're going to just put them over in this barrel right here with the essence. Like I said, we could probably get a little more complicated, but we're just going to keep it simple for now. So here we go. We've got a Starbuncle, the Dominion Wand. We did this a few episodes ago, or last episode, and we just need to first click on where it's coming from, which is here. A shift right click. You see it says position set down in the lower left. And then we just right click on him. And now it says in the lower left, Starbuncle, take from this inventory. And now we click on the Starbuncle. And we shift right click because it's a barrel on here. And it's going to store items. Oh, but he's going to take lapis out of there before it's finished. Hold up there, Starbuncle. Let's quickly put an item frame on here and tell him only source gems. Now he'll wait. Okay, let's do this with 2 barrels. The other Starbuncle won't need any filter. Put all of the essences in that barrel. So this is where the essences go, and this is going to be where the source gems go. Right? Put this, fill this up with lapis. So this guy's just going to keep creating source gems, and that's fine. We just need as much as we can. So now we need another Starbuncle that's going to take all of the essence out of these imbuement chambers and put them into this bottom barrel. And if he's only taking stuff from imbuement, specific imbuement chambers, we don't need to filter them. This is going to get a little bit complicated. All of the setting up we need to do. So if we right click on this one, click on him, right click on this one, click on him, so on. Each of these imbuement chambers seven locations, but not this one. Now we just need to click on him once. By the way, when we click on him, the wand, it shows us where he's taking things from. And we just right click here, shift right click here. And now it says he's taking items from 7 locations, storing them in 1 location. And now it's going to be up to us to do this part for now. We can automate this more. Probably once we get some auto crafting, maybe with applied energistics or something, we'll put some pattern providers and automatically put stuff in these imbuement chambers on demand. He's already doing it. Look at that. Good job. So whenever we need something, we'll just manually fill those up. They're pretty quick when there's source in the jars. And speaking of that, we need to get source from up there down to here. And we've got some relays for that. So we're going to put a splitter. I'll put a splitter like right in the middle here. Get some temporary blocks here. I didn't realize those blocks are transparent. And we've got a relays here. And this one's a splitter relay. What it does is takes relay and we can tell it to send source into multiple places. Right, so here we go right click on it, position set, and right click here. And it's going to send source into these 4 corners. Right click on it one more time, we can see it is set to send it into those 4 jars. And now we just need to send it from here to that relay. And now I'm not sure if this will reach. Let's just try it. Set, see if it can reach without a relay in the middle. Nope, I don't think it can. So let's put a relay in the middle. But one here. So if we, oh, did I do it on the braze? Let's try it again, just to make sure. Position set. Too far away, it says down on the bottom. Okay. So first, let's click here. Position set. Picking from one location. There we go. Now, position set. And it is taking it from there and filling up the jars. The splitters work exactly like a regular relay, except for they can send to multiple locations. They're a bit more expensive. It needs nether quartz and lapis. in an enchanting apparatus with a source relay in the middle. All right, now we can just fill all these things up. Got plenty of source. Getting scent around the base. Just keep filling these up. Continually get this essence. And again, we need a ton of these different kinds of essences for different recipes, for glyphs. For conjuration essences are needed for some various types of glyphs as well. For example, they all have their different glyphs that they're used in. So we're just going to need a bunch of these to fill up our spell book, all the different kinds of glyphs. All right, I think it's going to do it for this episode. We did a whole bunch of stuff. We did some rituals, we upgraded our armor, and most importantly, we automated all of the different types of essences. If you're playing Ars Nouveau, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you think. If you'd like to play in this SMP with us, become a supporter. Check the links in the description for the Patreon, Discord, and let's talk about it. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next episode. I appreciate you.